Good morning. Thank you so much. Thank you for the warm welcome. Once again back here. You know this place has a special place in my heart. Hale Orange, and I've been a couple years, actually 4 years. I actually completed it, but I still think back to the days as I walked into a Bronx pizzeria the other day. I said, I know how to do this. I worked at the Varsity. I'm a pro. So they taught me how to make pizzas, but I somehow got booted out of the kitchen, and the main response what they gave me was to call out the numbers when the pizzas are ready. I think that's all they thought I could handle, which is probably the right thing. So with that, let me just introduce some of the incredible people who are here today. And first of all, starting with our mayor. Mayor, I want to thank you for having the vision to say not just why, but why not? Why not have an incredible transformation we're talking about here today? So ladies and gentlemen, let's give another round of applause to our mayor, Ben Walsh. And our common councilor, Patrona Jones-Rouser, thank you for your leadership of this great community, and many of the local officials here today, but I'm going to give a special bit of love to my state representatives. We just came through another great session, tremendous accomplishments for the people of the state of New York, and a governor does not do it alone. It is in partnership with the individuals that represent this great community. In particular, I want to thank Senator John Mannion. Thank you for all you've done for us. Incredible ally, great partner in delivering for Central New York. Senator Rachel May has joined us as well. Senator, thank you. Thank you for your support of this great community. Assemblymember Al Sturpey has joined us. Senator, Assemblymember, a great voice for the neighborhoods in this community as well, and also Assemblymember Pamela Hunter. We've walked your district many times. You're going to hear from Janice McKenna, probably the most patient person in the world, the president of the Tipperary Hill Association. Let's give her a round of applause. Central New York RADC co-chair and Lemoyne College president Linda Lemur. Thank you very much for your thank you for everything you do for the RADC. And I get a special chance to say hi to Van Robinson. Where are you sitting there, Van? Van Robinson. Former council president Linda Brown Robinson. The last time Van and I were together, where were we, Van? Sitting at the President's State of the Union address together. Okay, we were right there cheering on our president, right? We were the loudest cheering section, so great to be with so many friends. And I also know that Greg Lancette has joined us. Greg, where are you? The president of the New York State Pipe Trade. We got some important work done over the last couple of years, and more work to come. So also, let's talk about something that I'm not afraid to talk about at all, and that's housing. This year's budget, we reached an historic agreement on housing in the state of New York, driving new constructions, more jobs, protecting tenants, unlike anything we've done in 50 years because nobody had the guts to take it on. It was not easy. We had to work through a lot of hurdles, but working with your representatives, we got it done and delivered for the people of this great state. I want to thank them for all their work, and we're not afraid of a good fight. We also have to continue tackling affordability for New Yorkers. Everything. What happens is the shortage of housing, supply and demand, they're teaching that over at Lemoyne College, I know that for sure. Supply and demand, basic economics, right? Shortage of supply, the prices go up. And places that were once known as affordable, Syracuse, Rochester, Buffalo, all those national trends, everybody said this is the place to go, started sliding as we didn't build enough to meet the demand. So as a result, it's just more expensive here than it should be. So that's one of the reasons that we want to stop that burden on hardworking families. So at the state level, higher level, we have incentives to build more multifamily homes. We have $500 million in state money to build more on state land. I decide that the easiest thing I can do is say, well, that's under the jurisdiction of the state. We can do more here. And that's so exciting to me, whether it's former prisons, whether it's places that had been psychiatric centers and places that just had lost their luster, still under the control of the state. but why not let them be homes for people? So that's what we're focusing on as well. We have $600 million more in capital funding for housing overall. Thank you to our friends in the legislature as well. And over $650 million set aside for communities that have stood up and says, we are pro-housing communities. We are inclusive. We don't put up barriers. We want people to come into our communities, not put up roadblocks to having them come in, putting up walls. And pro-housing communities, and one of them is Syracuse, and I thank them for stepping up as well. So it's all on top of a $25 billion commitment to add more supply on top of what we have already. So here's what we have to do. We want to make sure that people can live in the communities they serve. It comes down to affordability, making sure that neighborhoods are vibrant places for people and commerce, and places like Syracuse. You know, we need to continue making real investments in cities like Syracuse. And look what we just did last week. We cut the ribbon on the redeveloped Moyer Carriage and Car Factory. I mean, that took a little while to get done as well. People gave up on it, but we say, no, we can get that done. Again, vision from the city, supplemented with support from the state, a 128-unit mixed-use, affordable, and supportive housing unit. That's what I'm talking about. More and more projects like that. In the last 5 years, our Housing Community Renewal Organization, our agency, has created or preserved more than 2,500 affordable homes here in Onondaga County. So that's the past. Let's talk about where we're going in the future. Today I'm here to cheer on some of the most exciting news we've had in a long time, other than perhaps one that's up in clay, the demolition and redevelopment of the Syracuse Developmental Center after 25 years of being shut down, shuttered, blighted. We're getting it done. And Mayor Walsh, you never know what happens over a cup of coffee at the Little Gem Diner. Because we sat together. I was a brand new governor. Mayor, what do you have on your mind? Oh, just a small project. Won't take much. And I was so committed after hearing his vision for how we need to save communities from having eyesores and blights and a sense that they don't matter. That someone would let this, our community would let this go on for so many years without standing up and saying, why haven't we done something about this? We're going to leave it like this for the next 50 years, 100 years? Who's going to stop the decay that's going in our own communities and holding us back? Visitors to this vibrant community have to witness this, the people who live there. Going to the zoo, this is what you see. Come on, we're better than that, right? Well, after that visit, I said, yes, we're going to do what we can. And we said we can transform this derelict project. 49 acres? 47, I'll give you 2 more. To high quality, mixed-use, mixed-income housing to revitalize this critically important part, this vital part of Syracuse. That's exactly what we're doing. When this place closed in 1998, it became a magnet for vandalism. 600,000 square feet sitting there, attracting all kinds of things. I went up there and we saw the graffiti on the walls. I'm not sure there wouldn't be any escaped animals from the zoo that have just been living there for 25 years and nobody even noticed. Just putting that out there. But it just weighed down this community. Just weighed it down. It went on too long. And finally, something is being done with it. So the state of New York committed $29 million to start the demolition. Because you can have all the plans you want in the world. Here, look at these great plans. And the mayor showed me. The plans are amazing. But the cost of taking down the buildings and remediating and putting in the sewers and the road, everything you need to do, that's usually pretty expensive. And that's why so much does not get done. So that's what we need to do. We said we will make that happen. The state is so vested in this part of our state. We will get this done. Phase 1, we're committing $100 million to build 230 new units of affordable workforce housing. Workforce is my favorite word. Get people here, give them a home, and get them a job. And by the time we're done with this 3-phase project, we'll have over 400 units between beautiful townhomes and apartments and people of different incomes living together and the people who are working. It's going to be an incredibly vibrant community. and we knit them together. We also need some green space set aside, right? You need to be able to just play a little bit, walk around barefoot on the grass, recharges the soul. 7.5 acres of green space. How about some nice retail? Get a cup of coffee when you wake up in the morning, get your newspaper. $3,600 worth of square feet as well as a technology space, and we're working on what that's going to look like. So look what we're going from. This is going to be one of the legacies of this community. A community that never gave up on itself, who said, yes, the years have passed, yes, those who came before us didn't have the ambition to do something, but that's not who we are. That's not who we are in 2024 in Central New York and in the city of Syracuse and the state of New York. That's not who we are. We're moving forward. We're lifting communities up. We're making a difference in people's lives. And we have to build more housing for another reason, because I promised Micron I'd find a house for all their workers. So you got to help me. You got to help me, communities all around. I mean, some people come from parts of our country, they don't think twice about an hour commute in the morning, hour and a half some places. So think big, think big. Other communities can step up and be homes for people that are doing very well, some of them, and some are just starting off, but those are our kids. That's where our kids will be able to live. I am sad to say that when I graduated from Syracuse University, I wanted to stay in the state, and I stuck around for a little while, and I ended up in Washington. All my siblings, Irish, Catholic, big family, not one of them could stay in upstate New York, not because they didn't love it, but they couldn't find jobs. What a transformation in one generation. Where we have jobs, we need to get the people to come back or stay here. That's everything. So with Micron coming, 50,000 new jobs, we need more housing, we need more educational opportunities, we need more infrastructure, we need childcare. We're building something brand new here. This is like the Erie Canal. I spent a lot of time on the Erie Canal. You don't know that, that's me out on the water. I love the Erie Canal. This is as significant of a change in the character of a community and a region that we've never seen the likes of in the last 200 years. And you'll remember I was there. You'll say I was there when it all happened. When we finish this project, when we finish Micron, get Micron started, that's 20 years down the road, but we get that started. And all the other supply chain industries that want to come and be here, all the young people and people of all ages who say, this is the place to be for the semiconductor revolution. We literally had the king and queen of the Kingdom of the Netherlands in the governor's residence just a couple days ago in Albany. Why did they come to Albany? Yes, we know it was founded by the Dutch 400 years ago. That's a good reason right there. Okay, we got it. They came to talk about semiconductors because the synergy between what they do with their major companies, ASML is a big provider to what we're doing here all across the state of New York. They knew when they heard about Micron as well, they knew that we were just more than talk. This is real. This is tangible. We are going to be the epicenter of innovation when it comes to semiconductors, and we'll partner with these other global countries who know we are the ones. So that is what I'm talking about. This spreads beyond our own neighborhoods, beyond our own community. We are now being nationally recognized because of our commitment at the federal level, the state level, the county level, the city levels, the community levels, and the community that believes in itself to be able to recruit the largest private sector investment in American history. You got it done. And Rob Simpson, thank you. Thank you for believing in this community the way you do. So, we'll get more child care. We've invested $7 billion in child care. Micron is building a child care facility as we speak, as we asked them to do. We doubled the level of tuition assistance as well and make it available for part-time students so more people, more young people can get their educations, afford to be part of that pipeline of new jobs that are being created. And we're investing hundreds of millions of dollars in the next tech revolution, artificial intelligence with Empire AI. We're going to put the power of supercomputers that right now are only in the hands of the biggest companies, privately held companies. We are bringing that to students and researchers all over the state of New York. No other state has that ambition, but we do. We announced it in our State of the State. The legislature supported, thank you again, and we're getting it done. This is what puts us on the map. So we're done talking about the Rust Belt. I don't want to hear that anymore. Getting tired of that? It's the I-90 tech corridor. And the key to all this, tearing down buildings like this, building up new housing, tearing down the I-81 viaduct with $180 million from the state of New York. So you tear down the old buildings, the old structures, and you build new. That's what it is. Tear down and build. Tear down and build up neighborhoods where people can thrive. And tearing down once and for all that feeling that the world has passed us by, that upstate didn't matter. No, well, they can say that out there. What we're doing is we're building the economies and the communities of the future. So watch out, world. We are back. We are back, and I am so excited to be here today, and I want to thank everybody who's been an incredible part of us. We are the place people want to live, work, and recreate. It's right here going on in Central New York. So thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. And with that, one of the most persuasive people I've ever met, our great mayor, Mayor Ben Walsh.
Thank you so much, Governor Hochul. I am thrilled to be here today. If any of you heard a big sigh a few minutes ago backstage, that was me after having been holding my breath for the past 5 years since we took control of this property back here. A lot of people thought we were crazy when we did it. The property was derelict, it was blighted, it was significantly tax delinquent, and we had a choice to make. We can either let it go and say that, we didn't create this mess, it's not ours to solve, or we could take control of our own destiny. And people ask why? Why did we do it? For a few reasons. Number one, as I mentioned to the governor, my mother worked here at Fowler for 18 years, and I used to come and visit her a lot, and after she left and after the building, the developmental center, became in a disrepair, when I would come back and visit, I would look up the hill at that building, at that derelict building, spray painted, windows blown out, and I would think to myself, what kind of message are we sending to our kids every day when they're going to and from school and looking up at that building? What kind of message are we sending about how we feel about them and their community and their neighborhood? That wasn't something I was comfortable with. Second, it's because I had faith. I had faith in the partnerships, in the people in this room and many outside of this room that have shown time and time again that when we work together, we achieve amazing, incredible things. I had faith in our city team. We have our Deputy Mayor Sharon Owens here, our DPW team, our police, Chief Cecil's here, Chief Mons, brought everybody together and I said, team, we're going to have to hang on to this property for a while. It's going to be hard, but let's all come together. Let's use the resources we have, and let's take care of it until we can get it in better hands. I had faith in our local partners, in our county government, in our common council. The council has been with us every step of the way. Our current district councilor here, Pat Hogan, who's not able to be with us today, but he was there standing behind me 5 years ago when we took the property, and he has continued to be part of this project, as has the rest of the council, and we couldn't do it without them, but I knew that they were going to be here for us. Our state delegation, time and time again, delivering what we need. Our school district, training our young people in this very school for many of the high-tech jobs that we are all talking about right now, a critical partner in there every step of the way. And I knew when we sat down for that coffee that while we had great local partnership, we had a great vision, we just needed $29 million or so. But I knew, because every time I had had a conversation with the governor before then, that when she asks me what we need and I tell her, she delivers. Never to that extent before, but I knew that she would. And so when we sat there and we talked and I shared the story about this site, the fact that we have 47 acres in the heart of our city, that doesn't come around very often. The views are as good as anywhere, not just in the city, in the region. The vision was there, but for many, we had to get over the hump of that building. We had to get past that. And because of the governor's support, and she didn't hesitate for a minute, because of the governor's support, we are here today. There is demolition underway right now, and we are going to be able to realize this vision that the governor discussed, which I'm just going to recap. Again, we're eliminating an extreme neighborhood blight, and you'll hear more from Janice McKenna about that. We are building, think about what we value in projects, mixed use. Housing is critical, but early on we said we can't just settle, this can't just be a housing project, it has to be mixed use. A significant component of the project is a portion of the site that's been carved out and identified specifically for tech manufacturing. This was before Micron, but again, we mentioned one of our growth industries, drones and uncrewed aerial systems. Right here in PSLA Fowler, we are graduating kids with commercial drone licenses. And how cool would it be if they could go from here up there? So again, in the spirit of partnership, we reached out to our friends, my friend Rob Simpson in Center State, and we said, we need your help to do this part. We had faith that they could deliver that, and they are working hand in hand with us, and we hope that we can all be together not too long from now announcing the next big part of the project. But we know we need housing. We needed it before Micron, and we certainly need it after Micron. And we took our time. We got it right. We put out an RFP. We identified a development partner, and we have a transformational housing project that is going to be underway next year. It is going to deliver, again, what are those boxes that we want to check? Mixed use, mixed income. We want people, working class people, to be able to afford a quality place to live. Again, they will not be able to find a better view than these apartments up on the hill. So we have a dynamic, mixed use, mixed income project that is going to transform this part of the community. It is going to help continue to prepare us for the opportunities ahead of us. But again, I want to restate and end with, we could not have done it, Governor Hochul, without your support. Thank you so much. You know, I mentioned the neighborhood, and I mentioned Janice. If you don't know Janice McKenna, she is a force in this part of town. And nothing happens on Tip Hill without getting Janice's blessing. And so early on, even before we took title to the property, I spoke with Janice. And while we all occasionally would see the impacts of what would happen on this property, whether the fire department had to show up to rescue somebody that was trapped in the property, whether we were chasing off vandals or graffiti artists, Janice and her neighbors see it every day. Every day they have to live with that. And the message that it's sending to Janice and her neighbors is the same message that it's sending to our kids. And so Janice didn't hesitate. Absolutely, let's do it, Mayor. I'm going to be with you every step of the way, and you have. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce my partner, my friend, Janice McKenna, Chair of the Tipperary Hill Neighborhood Association.
Thank you very much. Something that I don't have on my notes, when we first talked about this, we were going through terrible problems with a high-rise apartment building in Syracuse, the Skyline, and the neighborhood was concerned, if we build another place like the Skyline, what's going to happen? This could not be our legacy, this could be our downfall, and we have to think ahead to what can we do? This entire process has been incredible. I have complete faith in what's going to happen here. First, I want to thank Governor Hochul because you saw the mayor's vision for the city and you helped to make this possible. And the mayor, the deputy mayor, it's been an incredible process. I'm representing the Tip Hill Neighborhood Association. I want to tell you a little bit about Tip Hill. So a friend who lives on Tip Hill tells people that she lives on a resort. We have a city park with an Olympic-sized swimming pool, a golf course, pickleball courts, a 14-acre arboretum, a zoo. You can walk to pubs, shops, churches, and a coffee house. We are proud of our neighborhood, its immigrant history, and we deeply care about its future. And this project is going to enhance its future. We have no doubt about that. I commend Mayor Walsh and his team for recognizing that anything that happens adjacent to Tipperary Hill is going to have an impact on the neighborhood, and thank him for including us in this process. You know, the city worked for years. They knew there was a problem, as the mayor said, to secure this site, and when they did, the mayor assured the neighborhood that the city was not interested in unloading the property quickly. They were more interested in finding the right development project. They were more concerned about long-term impact than they were with getting the property back on the city's tax rolls quickly, which is often a major incentive to act. And that process led to this project and brought the Albanese group to Syracuse. These developers also subscribe to the notion that the neighborhood must be consulted and engaged. They met with our board of directors. They met with neighbors at crowded meetings. They brought their plans. They listened. They came back with new plans. And they've pledged to continue to listen as this project progresses throughout its various stages. After we do the first couple of buildings, let's see what kind of an impact, what kind of changes do we need to make it right for the area. From a housing standpoint, we know it'll be a magnet for the Micron workers and people who work in hospitals and colleges on another hill in Syracuse. I can tell you that there are many senior residents on Tip Hill who are excited about the senior housing component, and that'll open up some houses that they don't want to leave so that younger people can buy homes on Tipperary Hill. Right now, they're just sticking because they don't have a place nearby to call home, so that'll make a big difference in housing. When I grow up, I might even want to be in that housing. I feel fortunate to live in a city that connects so well with its citizens, in a county that works hand in hand with the city, and a state that supports their combined efforts. Governor, thank you again for providing the funds to clear the decks for this incredible project. We on Tip Hill look forward to meeting our new neighbors. Thank you. Thank you. Now I'd like to introduce Common Councilor Patrona Jane Jones-Rouser from the 4th District.
Good afternoon. I'm the closeout speaker, and I know that you guys are probably ready to go, so I'll be very short. I want to thank the governor's office and her staff for all that they have done throughout the community, not just for this project, but for the last few years of investments that have happened and has made an extreme improvement in the communities throughout the city. To the mayor and his staff, especially at MBD, who I work very closely with in my role as neighborhood preservation, for all that they've done. I was able to see the plans for this project, and I was absolutely blown away to bring what everyone has spoke about, a full ecosystem for this project. The live, work, play aspect of it all, tied everything into one campus so that people who live there can enjoy where they are. So congratulations or thank you to the mayor and his staff and everyone from the state and officials that were able to collaborate and bringing all of that together. Again, I would just want to acknowledge that my colleague, my direct colleague, Pat Hogan, Honorable Pat Hogan and Honorable Helen Hudson are not able to be here, and they have been instrumental in this project from its existence. I'm kind of on the tail end, that's why I'm the last speaker. But again, I'm glad to be a part of this. I went to Fowler, and I will be dating myself, but it was, the developmental center was still open at the time. And to what the governor said, or to what the mayor said, when the kids are going there now and seeing that, the graffiti and the windows gone, that is disheartening. It's very disheartening. So we've gone through much disinvestment, and I'm proud to see the investment that's happening throughout our city. So thank you all for coming, and enjoy your day. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes today's events. Thank you for attending. Please quietly make your way to the exits behind you. Thank you.